Brother Swaggart, he writes beautiful books. Homosexuality, Sodom and Gomorrah, pornography, alcohol, beautiful works. I recommend them to you, these books. Not all, but these books especially, I recommend them to you. Read them, very good. But there are no solutions. You see, alcohol. I dealt with it last night, I think, by the way. He says in this book, alcohol. He says 11 million drunkards in America. 11 million drunkards, he says. These are his terms. In my country, they don't call them drunkards. Especially the whites, you can't call them drunkards. They'll punch you on the jaw. You have to call them alcoholics. They're sick people. See, when you say drunkard, it's very, very pungent, strong. Can you say drunkard? But when you say he's alcoholic, the person is sick. So he needs some treatment. 11 million, these are words of Brother Swaggart, drunkards in America, and 44 million heavy drinkers. And he says, to me, no difference between the two. To me, they are the same. Whether you call them drunkards or you call them heavy drinkers, to me, they are the same. I say, MashaAllah. MashaAllah, praise be to God. We have such a brother who speaks like a Muslim. The only thing is, I said, look, go one step further. To solve your problem, you have to go a step further. I said, include your social drinkers as well in that list of yours. Because the Holy Prophet Muhammad made no distinction between these three groups that you are thinking of. You've got the drunkards, you've got the heavy drinkers, and you've got social drinkers. The Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, whatever intoxicates in greater quantity is forbidden even in smaller quantity. No excuse for a nip or a tot. Finish, out. He said, strong words, he said, cursed is he who grows grapes for brewing. Growing of fruit trees in Islam is an act of virtue, blessing. Allah will reward you. Whether you plant fruit trees for selling the fruit or for eating it, Allah will bless you, He'll reward you. He said, on one occasion, he said, you see, if you get sure knowledge that tomorrow 12 o'clock at noon, the earth will be doomed, finished. It's coming to an end. Yawmul Qiyamah will set in, 12 o'clock tomorrow. And you were supposed to plant a fruit tree today. So what must you do? It will take 7 years for it to bear fruit. 7 years. He says, plant the tree. Allah will reward you. That mighty messenger of God, he said that if you plant grapes for the purpose of brewing, not for eating or selling, but for the purpose of brewing, like my place in the Cape, in South Africa, we have what is called the Mediterranean climate, and grapes grows beautifully there. That's the best wine growing country in that area. And you inherit 100 hectares of land, 200 acres of land. So what am I going to do? I said, plant grapes, the wine. But I said, who's going to buy it? I said, don't worry, there's a winery there, there's a brewery there. Unlimited amount they are prepared to buy from you. I said, right. If you did that, the Prophet of Islam says, cursed is he who grows grapes for brewing. Cursed is he who crushes it. Cursed is he who bottles it. Cursed is he who sells it. And cursed is he who drinks it out. No, you have nothing, no truck with that stuff. This is Islam. And your solution to the problem is this, total abstinence, said the Prophet of Islam, on instruction from Allah, revelation of God in the Holy Quran. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, so you believe. Innamal khamru, most certainly intoxicants, wal maisiru, and gambling. In his book, one of the books says, the American public is spending $54 billion a year on gambling. Squandering. 54 billion. And gambling. Wal ansabu, and fortune telling. Wal azlamu, and idol worship. Rizum min amali shaitan, are an abomination of Satan's handiwork. Fajtanibuhu la'allakum tuflihun. So shun such abomination that you may prosper. And wine barrels were emptied in the streets of Medina, never to be refilled. This one verse has created the biggest society of teetotalers in the world. People who don't imbibe alcohol. Biggest society in the world. One word, one expression. Brother Swaggart is talking about, he says, you got to threaten the Muslims, chopping off his head, or chopping off his hands. Therefore, they don't drink.
The person does not drink because he fears his hand will be cut off, or his toes, or his nose, or whatever.
Is that the reason? I want to know, you in America, the Muslims. I know we have black sheep amongst us, like any community has. We all have. You can't say we are all angels. But what percentage of Muslims imbibe alcohol? In India, Pakistan, South Africa, my community, I'm boasting in my country. Perhaps it applies everywhere where the Muslims live. I said, we Muslims have the lowest alcoholic consumption in the country. We have the lowest gambling rate in the country. We have the lowest prison rate in the country. We have the lowest divorce rate in the country. We have the lowest suicide rate in the country. And we have the highest charity rate in the country. That's what Islam has done for us. لَعَلَّهُمْ Wallahi, it's Islam. Nobody has threatened me all my life that I shouldn't smoke. I don't smoke. I don't gamble. I don't date. I don't court. I don't dance. Nobody threatened me. Said, look, if you do that, you go to jail. Or if you do that, we'll chop off your head. Nobody told me that. I don't know if anybody told you that you mustn't drink, otherwise we'll chop off your head. Anybody tells you here that? Anybody controlling you? No. What does it? I said, you see, in America, you, Christian nation, mighty nation, the mightiest nation on earth, America, you introduced prohibition in the 20s. Who did it? They were your leaders, people you voted into power. In your Congress or Parliament, in your Congress, they passed law, prohibition, run the country dry. You saw the carnage, that the havoc that this stuff was creating in the nation, the harm, the losses. So the brain power of the nation, people you voted into power, they voted on your behalf, passed a law trying to run the country dry. No Arab government ever threatened them. No Muslims ever threatened them. They said, look, if you don't stop drinking, we won't supply you oil. Because there was no oil. They didn't have it. The Arabs, they had no oil to threaten them with. They said, look, if you don't stop drinking, no oil for you anymore. No. It was your nation, your brain power, and you passed the law. And you failed. You failed miserably. The mightiest nation on earth, with the backing of the government, the brain of the nation, your propaganda machinery, everything and your police force put together to try to implement prohibition, and you failed. This mighty messenger of God, in a desert country among a barbaric people, he makes the pronouncement, and wine barrels were emptied, never to be refilled. Miracles! What miracles are you talking about? Here is a miracle. With all your miracles, you can do nothing. Your problems will increase. You have your handful. These are handful. You say, born again. He says, now we got the Spirit in us, and we don't touch it anymore. He says, great. I take off my hat to you. Great. And everyone who testifies, everyone without exception, will tell you that I was a drunkard. I used to smoke marijuana. We call it daha, ganja. I used to take drugs. I used to do this. I was promiscuous. I was gay. I was a sodomite. But now I don't do those things anymore. I say, congratulations to you. Congratulations. But I said, you see, something took you out of the mire, out of the dirt, out of the filth. Congratulations to you. But I said, but the system that stops you from falling into the mire is a better system any day. Prevention is always better than cure. And you are not able to cure those 55 million drunkards. With all your Holy Ghost and all your lecturing and moving people, to queue up by the thousands, you will not be able to solve the problem. The answer is total abstinence. And the only religion on the face of the earth which says don't touch that stuff is Islam.